You know, when I look at that guy, again, I've asked this question before in a video, but we always ask ourselves, who is next on the Titan class list, right? Well, apparently we did get our answer. The answer being that of Devastator, who is the first Titan class combiner, thus consisting of 6 Voyager class Constructicons. Now, I do plan to get Devastator in my collection soon, hopefully by the start of next month. However, there's always the question. There's always that question still, who will be the third or the fourth? Who will be the next Transformers, big Transformers, to get the Titan class treatment? Now, some might say it takes a couple of years for that to happen, right? And that might be true. It does take a couple of years. But the question is, who will get that second shot, that third chance? Who will get, basically, this is what I look at. Who's going to be next in line? Well, I know of a few that could get that treatment. In fact, I know of 4 that can get that treatment, and I think you guys know the 4, or maybe even 5 that I'm talking about. Now, it's not much of a like 5 being, you know, someone that could get it but may not get it kind of deal. But I think I know of 5 that will. The 5 Transformers, in my opinion, that I think are going to join Metroplex as well as Devastator in the Titan class scenario, I think should be very obvious to a lot of fans. Now, the first one I want to talk about would be Omega Supreme. Omega Supreme is a good choice. He's a big robot. He's a multi-platform Transformer. He has been reissued several times, but not in Titan class mode. And he is the kind that would work perfectly for Titan class. Because he's huge, he's big, he's basically a base city, if you will, mostly a base, before Metroplex was created. So this guy would suit perfectly into the Titan class mode, or mole, if you will. He would. Omega Supreme, I think, would fit perfectly into that mode. He really would. So that's why I think he should be considered to be the next Titan class Transformer. 1. The next one, to me, and I think this is very obvious to anybody, the next one, in my opinion, should be Fortress Maximus. Now, before they did Titan class Metroplex, Fortress Maximus was the tallest Transformer in history. Character-wise, you know, cartoon-wise, and mostly in a sense, you know, like I said, cartoon-wise, and mostly in a sense, toy-wise, he was the biggest. And I think, in a sense, he would be a perfect addition to Titan class as well. True, again, he has been reissued at times, but I think going Titan class would really help out. It really would. And you can even maybe make him be the one that breaks the Metroplex measuring stick. And what I mean is you can probably have him be at least an inch or 2, maybe a half an inch taller than Metroplex. I'm just saying. I think it would be nice to see. I really do. So that's, and again, he's basically like Metroplex, he's a triple changer. So you have city mode, battle mode, and of course, you know, robot mode. And in addition, you can make history by making him the first Titan class headmaster figure, because he is a headmaster, if you think about it. So that's why I think Fortress Maximus would be a good addition as well. Now the next one would be on equal standards. You can make them about the same size as Metroplex. That way you can have that battle you used to have as kids with the original versions, and that is Trypticon. Now true, Trypticon has been released in platinum form and all that, and you can only get them through certain retailers or sellers. That's the only way you can get them right now. But I think the reason we haven't officially gotten him reissued here in the US is because I believe they might be considering Trypticon as a Titan class figure. I mean, remember, he was built to battle Metroplex. So what better way to bring him into the fold than to make him a Titan class figure? It would work. I think fans would love it. You could have two figures about the same size, and there you go. So and again, like Metroplex, he's a triple changer. He's a T-Rex, he's a battle station, he's a city. So I really think having Metroplex, not Metroplex, but having Trypticon be a Titan class contender, or contender for Titan class recommendation, if you will, or consideration, is worth it, in my opinion. And then, of course, you got two others. These two others, I think, would be I don't think would be any surprise. The first one is Primus. Of course, Primus being aka Cybertron, whatever you want to call it, but Primus. And if you read on the history of Transformers and all that from, certain books and everything, Primus is basically Cybertron itself. As a matter of fact, was a planet himself, and I think was the core. Like the Transformer I'm going to name next was a planet himself, was planet size as well. As a matter of fact, I remember they sold him at the same price they sold the other one I'm going to talk about in a minute, and both transformed into planet size. So I think that gives away who's going to be talked about next, but still, both transformed into planet size, and from what I understand, he himself was the core of what made Cybertron, or at least a part of him was. His essence became Cybertron, I guess. I don't know. But I do know he had an integral part in it. So to me, creating that Primus character again would be a good contender. I mean, that toy has been around, so what better way to bring him about to reintroduce him than to reintroduce him in Titan class mode? That would be tremendous. And you could break barriers with him and the next one, which of course is Unicron. Unicron, of course, being the biggest Transformer in the history of the franchise. Planet size, no doubt about it. But here's a character that, like Primus, can break barriers. And what I mean by barriers and records is you could make history. Now, you think you made history when you made... Now, Hasbro and I can't pronounce... I'm trying to think of the name right now. I can't even think. It's Taka, not Taka, but Taka or something like that. I can't pronounce the Japanese creator, Japanese distributor of Transformer figures. But Hasbro and their Japanese counterparts, they think they made history when they created Titan class Metroplex. But history could still be made. And they can make it even more so. Like I said, they can make it by introducing a 3-foot or 2.5-foot Fortress Maximus. But you can even make history beyond that by bringing out Primus and Unicron. And if these characters are supposed to be measured at the size that they are, you can make these the biggest Transformers in history. You can make them at, legitimately, I think the highest they could go, in my opinion, is 4 freaking feet. Or make them 3.5 to 4 feet. That is huge. That is huge. I mean, Metroplex, as you saw at the beginning, is a 2-foot toy. Even Titan class Devastator is still short to him, and he's about 1.5 feet. He's 18 inches, basically 1.5 feet. Well, almost 1.5 feet, but still. To me, a Titan class Unicron and Primus can break the mold. I mean, at 4 feet, you'd be looking at a toy that'd be from here to about here. That's the toy you'd be looking at, well, at least probably about here, where my finger's at. Probably about right about here, if you will, from there. You'd be looking at a toy that size. And yeah, it would be expensive to get, but everybody thought probably the same thing about Titan class Metroplex. They thought he was going to be expensive, and he wasn't. You know, he's like $125, still is. Devastator, for what he is like 140 something. You know, that's not bad when you think about it in the long run. In the long run of things, that's not really bad. So to me, Titan class, so to me, they could break so many records with these characters. Omega Supreme could be about the same size as Devastator, maybe an inch taller. You know, like I say, maybe an inch taller. Fortress Maximus, you can make him maybe 1/2 foot taller than Metroplex. Triptychon, you could put him at the same size as Metroplex. But Primus and Unicron, you could break records with that. You can make them the tallest ever at 3.5 to almost 4 feet. And I'm very serious about that. And I think anybody watching this knows that to be true. So, in my opinion, I think honestly, these 5 Transformers are the next ones that should be considered for Titan class release. So, let me know what you guys think though. Do you think those 5 are legitimate contenders? And who else do you think should get the Titan class treatment? Let me know down below. I'll talk to y'all later.